What is up, guys? Welcome to another trade recap. Hope you guys are all doing swell on this Thursday. Took two trades today. One was a scale break even, and then the other one was full TP for right enough a day, like 1600 across the two funded accounts, which is pretty cool. This is the first win I've taken in the AM session this entire week. The only other win I've taken was Tuesday during the PM, so that's kind of crazy. AM's been pretty rough this week. But yeah, I'll go into what I was thinking going into the day, why I took the trades, all that type of jazz. So going into the day, we had this like Trump tweet or something. It was like something with China that came up and swept all of these highs right here. I wonder if I can just replay mode this. Okay, came up and swept all these highs right here, and then we had this. Oh yeah, we are delivering out of this daily civvy. So I was just already leaning more bearish just because of we had this higher time frame manipulation. This was also previous week high, so a pretty significant liquidity pool, and we were also bouncing off a higher time frame fair value gap. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna lean more bearish here towards all of these stacked lows if price tells me to be right, because there wasn't really anything else in the higher time frame that said to be bearish. And then going into open, okay, it looks like replay tool broke again, which is fine. I'm just not going to use it. Going into open, we had right here. So this was like the manipulation candle that swept out previous week high, and then we created this 5 minute gap with it. So all I wanted to see was strong displacement through this to see us come down and sweep out these lows and this low. And lo and behold, that happened. I had really bad risk on this though. I got filled like right here, and then my stop was 60 points, and then I was targeting the first TP was like zero point 0.7, so I didn't scale any there. Oh, I know I did. I'm sorry. Um, and the final TP was here. So after we came down and hit this, I think I waited a bit because originally I was just gonna not scale anything here, and then once we hit about 1R, I literally bottom ticked this, which is funny. But yeah, once I hit like 1R, I scaled out one out of five of my cons. So like 20% of the position just to cover like spreads and commissions. Um, just in case it went back to my entry and it was a break even trade, which it was. So that was the first trade. And then immediately after that, we started chopping on the lower time frame. And at this point, I was like, okay, I'm not interested in this whatsoever. So then at that point, I just stepped away and I just told myself that I'm going to come back during the next macro time, 10:50. And if there was something to be taken there, I would take it. So I leave, and then we also we did this, and it had this 2 minute, which looked hey, this was pretty nice. Yeah, there's this 2 minute that formed, which would have played out, but I didn't take that one. And one thing I also completely forgot to note was we had this massive SMT with ES. Where'd it go? Yeah, we had this Gymnosaurus SMT. Like this, like ES came out and swept every single one of these lows, and NQ didn't. So at this point, I was like, okay, maybe longs would be better here. But I was still like leaning more bearish because I was like, I mean, we're still really high up in premium. Like, what if we just break the SMT? So I was more so looking for reasons to be. I was like neutral until I went on the 15 minute, and I saw that we had this 15 minute CISD, and then we put in this breaker right here. And then this inverse right here. So yeah, order flow flipped bullish on 15 minute. So I was like, okay, we might want to actually go up for these data highs. And the reason why I wasn't worried about these data highs when I took that first short was because this took out all the buy side and we had a bunch of resting sell side. Now, since we came down and we formed this massive SMT, there wasn't really much of a reason to go down unless, we were disrespecting um, bullish PD arrays and putting in bearish ones. And data highs or data lows and data highs are just the strongest liquidity pool, in my opinion, in the entire market. So I didn't want to fade that. So yeah, I flipped bullish here after seeing the order flow. And then I had my eye on this 30-minute gap. And I was thinking, okay, if we inverse this, I'll take it. But you can see here, and at the time, this just looked the most clean to me. That's why I didn't go on the lower time frames, because I just thought this looked the cleanest. Because if we inverse this, we'd also put in a 30-minute CISD right here, right? But you can see here that the close was terrible. So the close was terrible, and I was like, okay, I'll just set a limit here. I set my limit right here on this previous candle high, and it would have been 1R to the data high, but you can see that it never went back there. So I was just kind of zooming in, seeing if I could maybe see another possible entry, and I did see this 1 minute. I missed this though. This triggered before that 30-minute inverse happened. Oops. I'm going to mark it as a BISI because it's a bullish inverse. But yeah, this triggered after the 30-minute had triggered, and by the time I zoomed in, price was trading like right here. And I was like, damn, okay. I would have taken this for sure if I noticed it. So I wanted to wait for a retrace as long as we didn't sweep this, because this would have been my break even point. So as long as we maybe got a retrace near where my entry would have been, I would have entered in. So that's what I did. On this candle, I got in, I think, at 7.5. I would check Tradeovate, but I don't want to open it up. Let's just assume it is. And it was like 1.3R to the data high. So let's just see. Yeah. No, I got filled in a bit. I think I got filled in at 3-ish. Because my stop loss was 30 points and it was like around this volume imbalance. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, so I got filled right there where this orange line is, and then it was basically smooth sailing from there. Hashtag order filled. But yeah. Oh, and the reason why, because you got it. You guys might be wondering if this is too high in premium, which it is pretty high in premium. The only reason I took this, despite it being really high in premium, was one, because of the SMT with ES, because I'm like, okay, we put in this massive SMT and now we're putting in bullish PD arrays. Why would we disrespect all those PD arrays just to break the SMT to go to discount? I didn't think that was likely. Plus, the biggest reason was the data high. One of like things I've learned is like we could be so high in premium or so low in discount, but if there's a data high or data low, then you can take trades that are in premium or discount and they will work out just because of how strong this is as a liquidity pool. And you can just see how fast and efficiently price went to that high. Yeah, so that was some nice and awesome price action. A lot better than what we've been seeing earlier this week. And I was fortunate to be able to catch, one trade that I got a little bit of profit off, and then the second one, which was like 1.3R, 1.4R. But yeah, that's the trade recap, guys. Hopefully you learned something from this. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next trade recap.